Hey Yoga Breeze family, it's Desiree coming to you from the mountains up near Prescott, where me and my family just have taken a moment to step away from the city and just recharge our batteries. So we're going to get a little bit of movement in today. I'm going to try my best to guide you verbally so that you don't have to look so much at the screen. And we're going to make adjustments as needed that are appropriate for our own bodies. So if something feels good and you want to stay a little bit longer, please do. We're going to start in a seated position. I don't have any props brought with me here, but if you have a blanket that will help support the knees or even the seat and would like to take two blocks or any props shaped similar to blocks, feel free to grab those now. I always recommend grabbing some water just to remind yourself to stay hydrated, especially as the temperatures increase. But we're going to sit up nice and tall. Maybe you take that block or blanket underneath your seat. You prop the knees. We're going to rest the hands on the knees or thighs, palms down if you need a little bit of grounding and support, or we can take the palms up for a little bit more of an opening sensation. We'll lengthen long and tall through the spine. The knees relax down, both sits bones equally pressing down into your props or mat. Eyes softly closed. And we'll take an audible exhale here. Deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh it out. With the eyes closed and the expression of the face soft, allow yourself to drop into the sensations experienced in this seat, observing everything from the temperature of the room to the gentle rise and fall of chest, ribs, and belly, without commentary, observing the sounds around you, both near and far. Simply recognize and become aware of engagement in the body, that subtle draw of the navel towards the spine, keeping the torso long, the gentle lift of the chin as the crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling or sky, and feel the relaxed sensation of shoulders relaxing, drawing down away from the ears. Should the mind be busy with thought and chatter, we'll take that deep breath in through the nose once again. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Dropping, gently resting into that place of natural breath. Keeping the eyes softly closed, we'll drop the chin down towards the chest, and we'll slowly roll the right ear over towards the right shoulder, lengthening into the left side of the neck. Hands can stay right where they're at, or maybe we walk those left fingertips over towards the left side of your mat, just creating a little bit more of a stretch on that left side body as the right ear drops over towards the shoulder. We'll gently bring the left hand back to the knees or thighs. We'll roll the chin down towards the chest once again. We'll roll the left ear over towards the left shoulder. Okay, Bailey. Right hand can stay right where it's at, or we walk those right fingertips over towards the right side of our mat. For those of you practicing at home, I'm sure you've had your fur babies joining in on your home practice. Sit down, girl. We'll roll the chin back towards the chest, both hands on knees or thighs. We'll gently lift the head up. We'll float the eyes open. Hey, baby girl. On our next breath in, we'll reach the arms out to the side and up overhead. As we exhale, we'll bring the hands together in front of the heart center. We'll take that once more. We inhale the arms out to the side and up overhead. As we exhale, palms come together in front of heart center. We're going to sweep the right hand behind the right hip, fingertips facing away from the body. We'll inhale the left arm up beside the left ear. We'll rotate the body over towards the right side. And as we exhale, the left hand reaches over, maybe connecting with the right leg. Right hand lifts. Left hand assists our twist. If comfortable for your neck, we can take our gaze over the right shoulder. Although we're twisting here, we're still staying connected to that slow rhythm of natural breath, dropping the breath deep into the belly. As we exhale, maybe we twist a little bit more. We'll take one more deep breath in through the nose as we sit up nice and tall. As we exhale, we gently unwind our twist. The left hand comes behind left hip. Right arm reaches all the way around. We sit up nice and tall. We gently twist over towards the left. Once again, if it's comfortable for your neck, we can take our gaze over that left shoulder. One more deep breath in through the nose. As we exhale, we gently unwind our twist. From our upright seat, we're going to extend the legs long. You can keep that blanket underneath your seat if needed. We're going to just stretch the legs in front of us, maybe pointing and flexing the toes. Hands can come beside the hips or onto blocks as needed. We're going to find engagement in the feet, feel that gentle lift of the kneecaps as the legs engage, and then recognize the length in the side bodies. We don't want to round forward. If there's a lot of rounding, then go ahead and place that blanket, a block, or just a little bit of height underneath the seat. If needed, we can also take a gentle bend in the knees. From our upright shape, we'll inhale the arms forward and up, keep that length in the side bodies, but relax the shoulders down away from the ears. We don't want to wear our shoulders as earrings. On your breath out, we'll hinge forward. Think of hinging from the hips instead of rounding forward. Once we begin to notice rounding in the spine, we'll release the hands down to the floor. We can take blocks to place underneath the hands. Or if we have the reach, we can take our peace fingers and bind them around the big toes, or even clasp the outer edges of the feet. Every inhalation we take, we're going to lengthen the spine a little bit more. And as we exhale, we soften and fold. We're aiming for length in the spine over how far forward we can get the forehead. Eyes can close here as we listen to the sound of our breath as we lengthen on our inhale. Soften and fold on the exhale. We'll take one more deep breath in, lengthen into the spine. If we have a bind on our exhale, we'll bring the hands to the floor or legs, and we'll gently walk the fingertips back towards the body as we lift up to our seated shape. Our left leg is going to stay right where it's at. We're going to bend into the right knee, foot coming to the floor inside the left thigh, or if it can come entirely flat outside of the left thigh, we'll cross the body. Once again, we're going to sweep those right fingertips behind the body, fingertips facing away from us. We'll inhale the left arm up beside the left ear. On a breath out, we twist, we rotate over towards the right and take a gentle bind around that right knee. We sit up tall, we lengthen long as we breathe in. And as we exhale, we gently twist. Eyes can close here as we drop back into the sensations experienced, sounds heard. One more deep breath in. As we exhale, we gently unbind our twist. We stretch both legs forward. Maybe give the legs a little wiggle, a little shake. I've got a little ant friend here trying to join me. We're going to keep the right leg right where it's at. Left knee will bend, foot coming to the floor, or once again we can cross the body if the left foot can come flat on the outside of the right thigh. Left fingertips behind the left hip, we sit up tall. We'll inhale the right arm up beside the right ear. On your breath out, we gently twist. We take a gentle clasp around the left knee. One more breath in. As we exhale, we slowly unbind our twist. Left leg stretches forward. And give the legs a little wiggle, a little shake. And then we're going to carefully move to a tabletop shape. So if you have sensitivity in the knees, go ahead and spread that blanket across the center of your mat. From our tabletop shape, we're going to bring the hips over the knees. Shoulders over the wrists. We'll spread the fingers to a comfortable distance. Fingertips gently gripping into the mat, and we'll make sure the tops of the feet are pressing down into our mat as well. Instead of sinking down towards the earth, we're going to engage the belly, press the hands firmly into the floor so we're lifting out of our shoulders, and the crown of the head is reaching towards the front of our mat. Breath is still moving here, so although we're engaged in the belly, we're not holding the breath. On your next inhalation, slowly we'll drop the belly, lift the head and the hips as we stretch through the front of the spine. As we exhale, we round into the back, dropping the crown of the head, tucking the tailbone. Inhaling deeply, belly drops, head and hips lift. As we exhale, we round. Inhaling deeply, belly drops, head and hips lift. As we exhale, we round. We're going to slowly make our way back to our tabletop shape, and we're going to tuck our toes here. We're going to keep our gaze down, crown of the head reaching forward. We're going to engage into the belly. We're going to keep lifting out of our shoulders, so no sinking. And then gently, we're going to hover the knees just a few inches off of the mat. Crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone reaching back. We're lifting out of our shoulders, might build a little heat here. We hold for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly with control, we lower the knees. We're going to take our big toes together, our knees nice and wide as our mat. And we'll settle the hips back for child's pose. Forehead coming down to the mat. Take that big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh it out. When you're ready, we'll gently press ourselves back up to that tabletop shape. Fingers spread to a comfortable distance, knees underneath the hips. We'll take 3 more rounds of cat-cow, dropping the belly on the inhalation. Exhaling, rounding into the spine, maybe noticing a little bit more movement available. Inhaling, belly drops, head and hips lift. Exhale, we round. Last one, belly drops, head and hips lift. Exhale, we round. We'll meet back in our tabletop shape. Belly engaged. Strong press of the hands. We'll tuck the toes. And once again, we hover the knees. Our gaze is forward. We don't need to peek back towards the knees. We know where they're at. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, lift the hips up and back, our downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal out the feet here, bending into opposite knees. Maybe lifting high up onto the toes and then dropping the heels down. Any movement that feels good to settle into your first down dog of the day. Maybe your first down dog of the day. When you're ready, we'll find ourselves in stillness, holding our down dog for just a moment. From our down dog, we're going to lift our gaze between our thumbs, and taking as many steps needed, we'll walk the feet forward between the hands. On your next breath in, we'll take the hands to the shins, maybe the thighs, as we lengthen long into the spine. Draw the navel up towards the spine as well. And as you breathe out, take a gentle forward fold. Feel the weight of the body shift forward into the balls of the feet. If comfortable, we can even take opposite elbows here. Let the crown of the head drop down. In stillness, or even with a little bit of movement, feel the crown heavy, maybe the forearms heavy. If needed, put that gentle or generous bend into the knees, laying the belly onto the thighs. If the arms are bound, we'll release the arms, put a generous bend into the knees, and pressing into the feet, we'll roll all the way up to standing. We'll inhale the arms out to the side and up overhead, maybe the palms connect. As you exhale, we'll bring the hands together in front of heart center. Deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, soft sigh out. The eyes are closed, we'll float the eyes open. We'll take a look down at our feet. We're going to make sure that all 10 toes are facing forward. The outer edges of the feet are parallel with the outer edges of your mat. We're going to keep a softness in the knees, so no need to lock the knees here. And instead of sticking the booty and the tailbone out, we're going to lengthen the tailbone down so we have a gentle lift of that pubic bone, keeps the belly nice and strong. And instead of flaring those ribs out, we're going to draw those down as well. A nice strong center, our nucleus, everything engaged here, but not rigid, restricting the breath. So find that gentle balance of the effort needed to maintain your mountain pose, but enough ease so we keep the softness in our shoulders, the softness in our breath. Finding that rooted down feeling through the feet as the rest of the body rises up. Strong and engaged and subtle. On your next breath in, we'll inhale the arms out to the side, up overhead. If comfortable, your gaze can follow. As we exhale, we swan dive forward, hinging at the hips. We inhale, lengthen half lift, palms to the shins or thighs. As we exhale, we soften and fold. Deep bend into the knees as we roll up to standing, arms sweep overhead, Bailey. Arms reach up. As we exhale, hands come together in front of heart center. Once again, we inhale the arms out and up overhead, big reach. As we exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, we fold. Bend into the knees, big press, we roll to rise, arms sweep high. And as we exhale, hands come together. Deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. We're going to keep the hands here either at heart center, palms pressing together and the shoulder blades squeezing on the back body. Or if more comfortable, we can bring the hands down to the hips. We're going to make sure that the feet, hello ants, I'm going to give them some space. The feet are either that fist width distance apart, or if more comfortable, we're going to bring the big toes together and let the heels stay slightly separated. Little sliver between the heels. So if feet are separated, the knees are separated. If toes are together, then we'll bring the knees together, squeezing in towards one another. So palms together or at the hips. We're going to keep the heart lifted and the tailbone lengthening down. We'll take our gaze down to our knees for just a moment as we sit back into our seat, our little chair pose. We're going to feel the weight of the body shifted into the heels so the toes are light, maybe the toes even lift here if comfortable. But we don't want our knees, to go past our toes. So we're going to bring the hips back so the knees stay behind our toes. Tailbone lengthening down, that pubic bone gently lifting, gentle engagement of the core. If comfortable, we'll inhale the arms forward and up, biceps beside the ears. Deep breath in, maybe we sink a little bit lower as we exhale. One more full breath in through the nose. As we exhale, legs straighten, we swan dive all the way forward. Hands down to the floor or on blocks if we've taken them. We're going to heel toe the feet nice and wide. We're going to let the heels come out, the toes slightly in. Lengthen into your spine on your inhalation. And as we exhale, we fold once again. Arms dangling, opposite elbows. Or we can take the outer edges of the feet or behind the ankles. If we take a bind onto the legs or ankles, we draw the crown of the head down and soften and fold. If we've taken a bind, we'll release the hands to the floor. We'll put a generous bend into the knees, hands float to the hips, and we slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time to standing. We'll bring the feet back underneath the hips, feet about that fist width distance apart as we walk towards the front of our mat. We're going to find our strong Tadasana stance once again, hands relaxed by the side or palms pressing together in front of heart center. If balance is present, the eyes can close for just a moment as we reconnect to the subtle movement of our breath. Making sure that we're in tune with our own bodies, feeling the flow of our breath, the engagement of each muscle used. We'll gently open the eyes if they were closed. We're going to keep the right foot right where it's at. And we're going to take a big step back with the left foot, landing on the ball of the foot. We're going to make sure that we have each foot in their own lane. So if we have the feet lined up, we're going to walk that right foot over to widen our stance. Think of standing, whoa, on two skis instead of a tightrope. So each foot is in their own lane. I'm reaching back through that left heel, and I'm going to invite that left hip forward. Right hip is going to reach back, and I'm going to put a bend into, the bend into that right knee so it's stacked right over the right ankle. If our hip points were headlights, they would both be shining forward equally. So if you notice that left hip opening up, Gently invite it forward. But we're still going to reach back through that left heel so the back of the knee is lifting up. So I'm pressing down and forward through the right foot, reaching back through that left heel. Belly is nice and engaged here as well to keep the body supported and stable. Hands can stay on the hips, or we're going to slowly sweep the arms forward and up. Maybe the biceps come beside the ears. Pinkies rotate in as the thumbs reach back. Both legs strong and engaged. Belly's engaged as well. We're still going to make sure that that right hip is reaching back as that left hip reaches forward. We're going to reach up through the fingertips on an inhale. As we exhale, that left arm's going to reach forward as the right arm reaches back. An open arm twist over towards the right side. Still reach back through that left heel so the back of the knee lifts up towards the ceiling. Or sky if you're outside. On your next breath in, the right arm will sweep forward to meet the left. Both arms go high. As we exhale, the hands will come together in front of the heart center. We're going to carefully release that left heel over to the mat. We're going to bring those right toes to face the left. We're going to adjust our feet so that the toes are facing out, the heels are facing in. We're going to make sure that we have the outer edges of our feet pressing down so the knees aren't dropping in. Imagine those knees pressing back. We're going to make sure, just like before, the belly is engaged, the tailbone's lengthening down. We'll start up nice and tall. And as you take your next breath out, we're going to sink down into our goddess pose. Knees still right over the heels. If they're going past the toes, then we'll widen our stance a little bit more. Hips are heavy and sinking. We'll take it easy on this first round so we don't have to find the bottom of our goddess pose. But we're just going to make sure those knees are back and the tailbone's lengthening down. We'll take the arms nice and wide here, maybe in your cactus arms, palms facing forward, knees pressing back. Breath is still moving as we feel our strong legs, our strong feet pressing down. Big breath in. As you exhale, straighten into the legs. We'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. We're going to face the back of our mat now so that those left toes are facing forward. And we're going to pop onto the ball of that right foot. We're going to take a look, make sure just like our other side, that we have each foot in their own lane. If needed, we'll walk that left foot over to widen our stance. We're going to bend into the left knee enough so that we have the knee right over the ankle. We're going to reach back through that right heel so that we have the back of the knee lifting up. Hip points facing forward equally, just like before. Right hip is reaching forward, left hip is reaching back. Belly's engaged so we're not just dumping forward, the tailbone's lengthening down gently. Big breath in as the arms extend forward and up, biceps beside the ears. Sink gently into that left knee, reach back through that right heel. One big breath in to extend long and tall. As we breathe out, right arm reaches forward, left arm reaches back. Open arm twist. Two strong, stable legs here. As we take our next breath in, left arm reaches forward to meet the right. Both arms go high. As we breathe out, the hands come together in front of the heart center. We'll slowly begin to straighten into the left leg as we point both toes forward to begin. We're going to bring the feet to line up once again, and then we're going to turn those toes out for our second round of goddess pose. Remember, outer edges of the feet are pressing down into the mat. Knees are going to press back. So hands pressing together in front of the heart or hands on the hips. Deep breath in through the nose. As we exhale, we sink low into our goddess pose. Toes are light here. We're not gripping down into the mat with our toes. Heels are heavy. Outer edges of the feet pressing. Legs might be shaking a little bit, no worries. We're going to take one more deep breath. Maybe we sink a little bit lower. As we exhale, press into the feet, straighten into the legs. We're going to find the front of our mat once again. Take a big step forward. Maybe shake out the legs as needed. On our next breath in, we're going to reach the arms wide and high. Gaze can follow. As we exhale, we swan dive forward. We'll inhale to lengthen into the spine. As we breathe out, we're going to bend into the knees so much that the hands come to the floor. One at a time, we're going to step the feet back, coming into our plank pose. We're going to keep our gaze down and forward, the crown of the head reaching forward, heels reach back, belly is strong and engaged. Breathing gently here. One more deep breath in. As we exhale, the knees come down. Hello, Bailey. We'll gently sweep the feet out from behind us. We'll stretch those legs nice and long once again. Maybe we shake out the legs. Take height underneath the seat as needed. We'll start off in our Dandasana staff pose, sitting up nice and tall. Both sits bones pressing down into our mat or blanket. Belly's engaged and there's length in all sides of the body. Maybe the eyes even close here. We recognize similarities or even subtle differences of our staff pose from the first time we took it at the beginning of class. Not with judgment, just with recognition. Maybe we feel a little bit more open, a little bit more engaged. Maybe a little bit more connected. On our next breath in, the arms sweep forward and up once again. Following the pinkies. As we exhale, we hinge forward. When we begin to round, we release the hands down to the floor or to the legs. Always that option to take your peace fingers around the big toes. We lengthen. As we exhale, we soften and fold. We'll take another deep breath to lengthen. As we exhale, the hands release down to the legs or the mat. We'll walk the hands towards the body, rolling up to seated. We're going to shift our body off of our height if we've taken it. Body comes to the middle of the mat. And taking your time, we're going to roll all the way down onto our backs. We'll draw the knees in close to the body, the arms wrap around the shins, maybe the backs of the thighs. Eyes can close here. So we hug the knees in close, maybe taking some gentle rocking from side to side, massaging out the low back into the mat. Maybe we take some circles on the ceiling with the knees. If we've taken them in one direction, we'll remember to go in the opposite direction. We're going to separate the knees nice and wide. Hands come behind the thighs, or we reach up for the outer edges of the feet. We'll reach the soles of the feet up towards the sky as the knees draw down towards the floor, down towards the armpits. We're welcome to stay here in stillness, or straighten and bend into the knees, finding a little bit of movement, maybe both at the same time. On your next breath out, We'll bring the feet down to the floor, the thighs come in together. We're going to lift and shift our hips over towards the right side of our mat a few inches. We're going to expand the arms nice and wide in a T-shape or cactus arms. We'll draw the knees in close to the body, and on your breath out, we'll let both knees descend over towards the left. The head can stay right where it's at, or turn opposite of the knees. That left hand can stay right where it's at, or we can gently take the left hand to the right knee. And gently bring the left arm back onto the floor. We'll take a big breath in, and as we exhale, both knees come back to center. We'll bring the toes down so we can shift the hips first to the middle of our mat. And then we lift and shift our hips over towards the left, knees in towards the body. And as we breathe out, both knees drop over towards the right. Same option, right hand can stay where it's at or take the outer left knee. The head can stay where it's at or move opposite of the knees as well. We'll release the right hand from the knee. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, the knees, the head come back to center. We'll release the feet down to the floor to bring the hips back to the middle of our mat. We'll bring the arms down beside the hips, palms pressing down. We reach, maybe see if we can find those heels as we draw them in closer to the seat. Palms press down, forearms, and the triceps press down as well. We're going to engage into the belly, and then we're going to slowly lift the hips, coming into a gentle bridge pose. Feel the feet pressing down and forward as if you're trying to scoot the body towards the back of your mat. We'll keep the chin lifting up away from the chest as we roll the chest up towards the chin. And on your next breath down, we're going to roll the hips back down. On your next breath in, hands, feet press as we lift the hips. Then we slowly roll back down. We'll keep the feet where they're at, or we'll gently come up onto the toes, maybe bringing the heels a little bit closer in towards the seat. One last time, we inhale, the hips lift. And we roll all the way back down on our exhale. We'll extend the legs long. We'll reach the arms overhead, big breath in as we reach, stretch and point from fingertips to toe tips. We inhale, as we exhale, sigh it out and release. Arms will relax beside the body. Legs will extend long. If the low back is a little cranky, we can take that blanket, roll it up and place it behind the knees. As we settle and adjust ourselves for our final shape, we either take the arms down by the hips or the left hand to the heart, right hand to the belly, making connection with the body. Maybe extending our body a little bit of gratitude for its performance today, for showing up to the mat. Stay in your savasana as long as you're comfortable. And thank you to each and every one of you for joining me It is always an honor and a privilege to guide you. Namaste.